25 teams, even higher than that. I think we're 15th or 16th or something like that. But two teams that are highly ranked playing each other, which makes it a big game. It's the biggest game of the year for us. One thing that we've always stressed, and to put yourself in a position to win championships, you have to win all your home games, especially in this conference, with how hard it is to win on the road. So we need a great home field advantage out of our fan base, as they've done all year for us. Should be an exciting game. I know it's an early kickoff, but it really should be an exciting game for us. And I think the last time that we played A&M was in the Snow Bowl game, so I think it kind of kicks that all back up again from that game. I think they're honoring that team at halftime during the game at some point. So it should be pretty exciting for us. And real tough challenge, very talented football team. Obviously they got the best offense in the SEC, in yards and points, and they put up huge numbers offensively, big stats with a lot of different playmakers on the field and tremendous skill at every position. And then what gets overlooked a lot, I think, because of their offense is their defense. They have a stout defense. And you look at the performance their defense has made has been pretty impressive throughout the season.
You got a question? Raise your hand. We'll get your microphone.
Now, you guys are obviously very familiar with Kevin Song, maybe more familiar than any other SEC staff because of playing them in the past. But how has his offense changed since you first faced this Houston team back in 2009?
Well, I don't think his offense has changed much. The philosophy of his offense certainly hasn't changed. I think he's done a good job tweaking it around the players. Third time I think we've played against him, and the third different quarterback have had to play, and that's offensively where you always start. You build around the strengths of your quarterbacks. And they obviously do that now, building around the strength of their quarterback and his playmaking ability.
Dan, I don't know, how much did you learn about your team from the Alabama game, and do you expect for this team to define itself over the next 4 weeks?
Oh, you always define yourself in November. To me, as a team, of what you're going to do, how you're going to perform to close out the season. And we've put ourselves in a position, in a great position, entering the month of December. In the month of November right now. And and now this is where you have to see. This is what separates a good season from a great season, and a great season from a championship season. How you perform in the month of November.
Dan, how are those special teams mistakes against Alabama correctable, or are you what you are now on that side of the ball in November?
Well, no, you're constantly teaching. You're either getting better or you're getting worse every single day. So we're constantly working on every one of those techniques, individual responsibilities, and it's just like on anything. There's a lot of different things. There's 11 guys that have to execute perfectly every play. Is what you need, and if you have a breakdown, a lot of times it'll be glaring, especially against very good football teams.
As you get past the Alabama loss, is this one of those games? How do you approach it? Do you really dissect the film and hammer home all the mistakes, or do you just kind of say Alabama was that good and let's move on?
We do what we do every week, which is look at where we made mistakes, how we could have done better. How every week we look at how we won and how we lost the game. We haven't lost very often and recently, but what were the determining factors, and so that we can point and correct on all of those issues. So we watched the film this morning with the guys, and we had a team meeting. We go through and review all the things that we did positively, all the things we did negatively, and hopefully grow on the positives and correct the negatives. And very much as we've done for every other game so far this season.
Coach, you've always had good success of junior college players coming in here, and obviously it takes some while to develop. It seems like the Nico's starting to find his rhythm. He's a lot more active, etc.
Yeah, I do. One thing, we recruit junior college players to come in and make an impact for the most part, because they have shorter careers, and high school guys have less time to develop within your program. So, we try to make an emphasis on recruiting guys that are going to come in and be able to step on the field right away and make an impact. And, I think the transition, though, from junior college to the Southeastern Conference is a step, and I think there is an adjustment period for guys. And I think, a lot of those guys, you'll see some flashes on a play here and there early, but as they continue to play more and more and get accustomed into the system, you see more consistent play out of it. And, D'Amico's one of those guys. I think he's adapting to becoming that consistent player that we need him to be.
Chris Smith had a couple cases to extend drives last week against Alabama. Just talk about his development.
Chris done a good job. I think he came in, got to play as a true freshman. And I think with anybody, sometimes when you go out and play as a true freshman, I don't know that always helps your development. I think and even some guys, because you look and say, well, I didn't even go through an off season, and I'm playing, I'm starting here. What's this? All this hard work about in the off season? I didn't need to do that, and I already played. So, I think it can potentially slow you down, when you're young. But Chris is a guy, I think, that has been through all that. He understands he's the work that needs to go in. He's a tremendous hard worker. He believes in the program. And if you watch him, all of his hard work and everything that he does, I think he's our hardest working receiver. Whether it's in drills, in practice, or in our walkthroughs even. All that hard work is starting to show in the results on the field.
Following up on that, Chris, he seems to have become more of a downfield threat than in the past, which is pretty good timing on that. Joe DeMauro really hasn't contributed a whole lot. He missed Malcolm for a while. Is he becoming that guy you can count on?
Well, they all are. I think it all depends on what defenses give us. If defenses, they're going to bracket roll safeties on top of them and double team Chris down the field, he's not going to be much of a downfield threat. If they leave him one-on-one, he has that opportunity to be. So I think a lot of that is much more defensive dictated than personnel dictated.
Coach, in your opinion, was there one back-breaking moment of the Alabama game, one moment where the game you just felt like got away from the team?
No, there's a bunch of different moments. You can see where we made errors. And they like we said all week, Alabama, they're a team with tremendous talent, extremely well coached, that makes minimal mistakes, and they kind of wear you down. And we made enough mistakes for them to capitalize throughout the whole course of the game. And to me, those are things you can't do against them.
Yeah, Coach, their quarterback, Johnny Manziel, leads the conference in total offense. Can you tell us what makes it so difficult for him to defend?
Well, they spread out all over the field, and they have great athletes. You're going to defend all these great athletes all over the field, and oftentimes leave him, in the box all by himself, and he's got tremendous athletic ability and the ability to keep plays alive, to improvise. So, not only does he execute their offense very well, but when you stop their offense, he has the ability to go improvise and create on his own outside the box. And so he just starts running around and making things happen. And he's got great athleticism. He's got tremendous speed. He can make you miss. It looks like he's a natural ball carrier in what he does and how he, runs with the ball. Setting, reading blocks and cutting. So, it's the biggest threat is those extra things that he does when a play starts to break down.
You said you'd had a team meeting this morning, and you've been around the guys obviously since the loss. What, as a coach after doing this for several years, what do you look for when a team is trying to bounce back? Are there keys, certain things?
Yeah, I'll see a practice today. Until you get on the field, early on a Monday morning, guys look like they do every early Monday morning, kind of a little groggy and tired. But we got to see a practice today. It's how you attack, your demeanor at practice. You coming back with great resolve to continue to work harder and continue to get better. We have to be a better football team this week than we were last week. Throughout the season, you always have to continually improve. And that the only way you do that is through how you prepare and how you practice, and that comes down to your work ethic on a daily basis.
You talk about Dylan Day and what he's really provided for Tyler and the offense here, just he's kind of a youngster still a little bit.
Yeah, he's growing. He's growing. The center's got to be your kind of your leader of the offensive line, and maybe not always the leader off the field, but certainly the leader on the field. The leader on game day, he's the guy. While you're out there, he's making the calls. He's, the apex of the offensive line right there, and it all comes through him. And I think he understands that now. I think last year, a lot of times you look at younger players, he's trying to survive on his own out there on the field, and I think he understands the role of his leadership and how important it is on the field on game day.
Yeah, and then all the guys kind of went down with hurt and came back in the game, like Lane and McKinney. How's the health?
Yeah, good. Nothing. There's in meeting with our trainers today. Archie Moniz would be the only one I think that's questionable with like a very slight LCL strain. But they said he'd potentially be practicing by tomorrow, so he'd be the only one new that's questionable. Everything else is still the same from the week before. But this time of year, yeah, there's nobody that's out. Everybody's just bumped and bruised. Everybody's got a boot on, and everybody's got tape all over the place and ice covering their bodies. But that's what happens. You get into November in the Southeastern Conference.
Dan, there were moments on defense in the Alabama game where John Banks and Cam Lawrence just kind of looking at each other going, what are we doing? They're two of the senior leaders, so if they don't know what they're doing, did you see that on tape where your leaders were confused, had some communication?
Well, yeah, there was somebody else supposed to be in there.
Right.
So they were both looking confused of where's the third guy and where did he go to that was supposed to be standing right here. I think that is more of it than anything else. But those are simple things. And as you get in, the touchdown pass they score, we just don't cover anybody. We have a guy completely lined up on the wrong side of the field. You're going to play Alabama, they're going to find that guy. Some teams might miss it or you might get lucky. You don't do that when you're playing great football teams. You have to execute on every single snap. The plays that we executed, I thought we did very well. So, like I said, when you look at this, we work with the team, and you look at the positive, there's a lot of things that I thought we did well during the course of the game. And there's a lot of things we did very, very poorly during the course of the game. You can occasionally win sometimes doing things very well and some things poorly, but not against great teams.
Any other questions? Thank you, Coach.